Morning children, hope everybody is keeping fine. So children, we were discussing about the globalization, and in the globalization the last topic that we have studied the sectors or the factors that enabled the globalization and all that we studied. They are the technology and the liberalization, how it becomes one of the factors for the globalization and that we have looked. So here we will be talking about the World Trade Organization. What is this World Trade Organization, and what this organization is doing for the country and all that is, or doing for the countries in the world, developed country or developing country, how it is maintaining this trade or business and all that is, let us look at it. Okay, we have seen that the liberalization of the foreign trade and investment in India was supported by some very powerful international organizations. So this World Trade Organization is totally maintaining, in throughout all the country and all that is for the trade, the foreign trade and the foreign investment, all these things that is being looking after, that is This organization says that this WTO, World Trade Organization is saying that is that means or this organization is say that all the barriers to foreign trade and investment are harmful. So the WTO says, or the World Trade Organization, it says that is any type of restriction we make against this foreign trade and foreign investment is totally harm to the country or harm to the business and all that is totally making aware of that is there should be, and it says there should not be any type of barriers or the barriers and all that is, we should remove the barriers and what and all that we know very well, some of the restriction against the business and all, or the trade and all with the other countries. The trade between the countries should be free, and he says finally the trade or the business that we make with the country or the between the countries should be free. And this all the countries in the world should liberalize their policies, and he says totally strongly, very strongly he says that is all the country in the world should liberalize or make it free for the for their policies and all for the export and importing of the goods or have the business and all, that is the WTO is saying. So the World Trade Organization, WTO, is one such organization whose aim is to liberalize the international trade. When once we have joined in the WTO, so the WTO is making rules and regulation for, because whatever that we make certain type of rules and regulation that should somebody has to maintain that. So for this business or the trade and all that is foreign investment or the foreign trade and all that is to maintain that the WTO is totally formed by UNO. And already we know that the WTO is one of the branch of this UNO and all that is and started at the initiative of to develop the countries. So this main aim, this WTO's main aim is to develop the country. How the country should develop and should have all over the world well-known country, that is the for the purpose of trade and investment and all that is WTO's main aim is that. And this WTO establishes the rules regarding the international trade. So regarding international trade and all that is the WTO makes some rules and regulations and sees that these rules and regulation every country has to obey or maintain. Every country in the sense those who have joined in this WTO, those who have joined in this World Trade Organization, they only have to obey the rules and regulations. Nearly 160 countries has been joined in the world in this WTO. But certain times what happens is some problem comes, it is in each and every factors the problem takes place. So in this WTO also some problem has been taking place between the countries those who have joined between this 160 countries those who have joined in, that is there are some developed countries are there and also some developing countries also are there. So the injustice has been done for the developing countries and all that. What is that? What is the things? What is the injustice has been taken place or unfairness has been taken place? What is that? Let us look at below. There is a debate and all that. You just read it out. Okay. So what is being given, that let us just, I will be talking it a little bit. Okay. And though the WTO is supported to allow the free trade for all, in practice it is seen that the developed countries have unfairly retained the trade barriers. On the other hand, WTO rules have forced the developing country to remove trade barriers, but the developed country have not removed the barriers and all that. They have some certain type of restrictions and all that is will be seen below. There is one of the debate is there regarding this the agricultural product and all that is will be seen. It seems that the developed country, okay, once again I am reading, just try to understand that is the WTO is supported to allow free and free trade with all over the country, those who have joined and all that. But in practice what it happens that the developed country have unfairly retained the trade barriers. So some of the trade barriers were there, okay, that unfairly the trade barriers that they have made it in their country, the developed country, that is, okay. And on the other hand, WTO rules have forced the developing, but WTO's rule is what, to remove the barriers and all that is, okay, to remove the trade barriers and all that is from the country, that is totally giving. So this is who is totally following, this is the developing country is totally maintaining these rules and regulation. What about the WTO rules gives, that is that rules is totally practiced by the developing country. But where about the developed country? They have put some of the restriction or the barriers against, that is unfair barriers that they have retained or they have made it in the country. So read this debate and all that is totally given over here and all, okay. And finally, that is they have said it that is this free and fair trade? The example that is being given over here, then finally they asked a question, that is it a free and fair trade that has been taken place in USA, one of the developed country in USA, regarding the agricultural system that is being given about, that is how their product and all that is they make it in the country and all that is, or sell with the other country and all that is it a free and fair trade that has been done? So just you go through and all that is and you read, okay, then you will be understanding more about that is what is this debate is being telling us. Okay, thank you. Have a